record on this computer. Welcome and thank you for joining us for this Inner Peace Talk, this gorgeous 7th episode. Lizi and I, we love angels, and 7 is a gorgeous angel number. And Lizi, I've met, is that about 15, 16 years ago? And she's been a soul sister ever since. And no matter where she lived on the planet, we were always close at heart. She's an amazing artist. And when I started my business 6 years ago and wanted a logo, of course, I knew where to go. And she did my gorgeous palm healing logo. And I took a picture of my hands, and she really draw my hand, and I have this gorgeous logo from her. And she's been a gorgeous artist. She makes this beautiful Möbius bell creative sculptures, and she has sculptures all over the world. And I am so proud to introducing you here to my gorgeous friend, Lizi Summer, and we're doing some creative play. Hello, Lizi.
Oh, I'm so happy to be joining you. Thank you so much for your invitation. I love you so much, Caroline, and all the beautiful sisters out there. In fact, inspired that I was meeting this beautiful group, I'm wearing this top that says,
girls can do anything. Yeah.
So there you go. And I'd like to share, because when Caroline invited me, of course, I was really excited and ideas flowing about what to share. And then this morning I was having a pity party. I was feeling really sad, and I'm thinking, oh no, I've got to suppress the sadness. But what I wanted to share with you is how I use my creative self and how that channels to the inner child, because I believe, I feel that creativity is so connected with our feelings. When you hear a piece of music, it can you just can go to just another place. It instantly takes you to another place. With food, if you eat the beautiful flavors, your senses, it can take you back to a time when you were sitting on your grandmother's knee, the smell, the taste. And I feel that, creativity in all its forms just so links to our inner child and helps us to honor our emotions. And this morning, I didn't make a big sculpture, I didn't weld or use wood, or I actually played a beautiful song and I cried. And I hugged my knees and I rocked and I held myself. And so what I'd like to share is to say, this is a way I'm, during this time, I'm finding a way to heal, to acknowledge my emotions is through creativity and playfulness. When I met Caroline, I was teaching full time as an early years teacher. And then my degree in education were the creative arts. And now I'm working full-time as a sculptor. I feel so privileged. This connection from when I was teaching with young children, this connection with my arts and play, that thread is always there, the importance of recognizing the child within and to give that child a voice. If it wants to shout and scream and cry or laugh, find a safe place to do that and honor and be playful. So, one of the ways I'm being playful and creative is I've been doing a drawing challenge. Normally I do sculptures, and I know I asked you to have a pen and paper there. And it was to say the thing about art and creativity, there's this whole idea that it's supposed to be perfect. There is a way to draw, that painting should be in such a way for it to be in the Guggenheim or the Royal Academy. This is rubbish. I feel anyway. Of course, they're amazing artists. And I have my work in galleries, but I think the best art comes from the soul. And I would like to encourage you, if you feel, you have your pencil, is to doodle and play. I was asked to do a drawing challenge, and I could hear that judgment, that voice in my head going, no, this isn't a good drawing, you know, this was to show, you know, myself and where I am. I've turned into a tree hugger.
You were always a tree hugger.
And I was just doodling and doing. Can you see that?
It's gorgeous.
Doodling and doing drawings. But I was honestly judging myself, thinking, these drawings, oh, you know, these paintings. I was thinking, no, this, you know, they're not perfect. I even cut out the tree because I didn't like the background. And so I'd like to encourage you to let go of perfectionism if that's creeping in with you. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully, you know, but when it comes to art, to accept and play. And oh yeah, the tree just fell out.
But actually it looks good cut out. You can put it up. And if I just may share that, as a student in school, I always felt I am not good enough. I can't draw. I'm not doing this right, because we did so much different things. You know, I had to draw something. We never explored or were creatively playful. And only later, I think I was well beyond 40, after a year long of telling me I can't draw, I was in a improv sort of draw class and just had the pencil there and closed my eyes and just went over. And I loved that. And that gave me such a freedom of expression, and not having to draw something like copying something, you know, but just creating for the fun of it, playing with colors and
Yes.
see what's coming out. And it doesn't have to be a deer or a dog or anything. So thank you, Lizi, for helping us in that.
In fact, you know, and the fact is, I'm not putting any pressure. I'm not saying as an artist, right, after this, I would like you to go and make a sculpture and to draw a picture. Actually, the opposite. If you find you've got, you know, with your pencil, here's a fun exercise to do. I'm right-handed, but it's to put the pencil in your non-dominant hand. And just, and not the word just, because just is very limiting. Actually put the pencil in your non-dominant hand and have a doodle. And what can be rather fun is close your eyes even. You can close your eyes and take that pencil for a walk and just doodle, have a doodle. And then when you've taken that pencil or the crayon for a walk, is have fun. Yeah, look at the drawing. And you know, when you look at clouds, you can lay on your back and you can look at the clouds and what can I see? You can even then, just with your creation, say, oh, I can see a heart. I'm always finding hearts. I'm doing a project with hearts at the moment. But then just doodle over the top of that and swap to your dominant hand. So doodling, whatever doodles you like to do. And just allow that inner child to come out and to doodle. Another exercise is if you hold the pencil in your normal writing hand and you're right or left-handed. And another exercise you can do is look at the palm of your hand. And you look at the hand and you draw. You draw all the lines on your hands. That's another exercise to do with drawing. And when you're doing this and you're looking at the hand and free drawing each little line, each beautiful line, it completely helps to take you out of your head and just into your body, into your soul, and into another space altogether. So that is a really fun thing to do.
I love that.
I mean, you know, I read something and I'm trying to remember where it came from, but it was, you know, I mean, this expressing our creativity, I feel it's part of self-care. And, you know, self-care is how we take our power back. Self-care is, you know, with the creativity is how we listen to that our emotions, our creative self, and think, what does my body need? I mean, in England on every Thursday night, they're at 8 o'clock at night, they're banging and saying thank you to all the nurses and the doctors and everyone who's helping. There's, you know, if you feel like you need to be playing instruments or banging a pan or a wooden spoon. And it became a bit of a drumming exercise. It made the Swiss neighbors think, what is going on? And maybe singing in the shower, or, you know, dancing, or holding yourself and crying. So, you know, whatever it is, but, you know, certainly with art, with drawing, you know, doodling and getting different colors. And something else I do is I listen to music and I listen to the words of the song, and I close my eyes and I have 3 or 4 different crayons, and I scribble and I draw and I write the lyrics down, and I know where the piece of paper is. I'm feeling for the piece of paper, and I do these colors to swap the crayons, and listening to the lyrics of this song. I was listening to Lady Gaga, Shallow, this morning. And it's really fun to see the colors and shapes that you can have from that. Something else.
Wonderful exercise. Yes, that's wonderful. Wow. Mm-hmm.
And that I'm sure everyone's got scissors and bits of newspaper. And I know Caroline, there's a really big tradition of paper cutting, isn't there, in Switzerland? And a few years ago, I was part of a paper cutting group of artists teaching and running workshops. And actually, paper cutting is rather fun. So I just like to suggest, well, not suggest, but to play with this idea as well. So here we go. And the thing with paper cutting is the scissors stay where they are, and it's the paper that you move around. You move the paper around the scissors. And these are just ordinary household scissors. And there's something also, it's a bit like looking at your hand. When you're paper cutting, you have to focus so much on those scissors. That's all you can focus on. And actually this is I find paper cutting very healing and very good. I use it to get out of my mind, so out of my head and into my heart. And so let's see what I've made here. You can tell I was a primary teacher. So here we go. Oh, there for you, hearts.
Ah, beautiful. Oh, that looks wonderful. Wow. Is there a certain way to cut, to fold the paper, or just half and half and half? Or
like this, you get your strip of paper, fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half, and again. And I don't know how many people out there used to do the little people in a row, the paper chain people. So you can just do that. You know, you can do ballerinas, for example. And the thing about ballerinas is they're incredible because they look so dainty. They look so beautiful and delicate, but the strength of a ballerina is phenomenal. That training they do, it's tough. You know, the legs, yeah. Physical. And I always think that ballerinas are like us girls. We have superpowers. And there's a beautiful Danish artist that I work with, and she used to show this ballerina, and she used to show the ballerina with different things. She showed the ballerina next to a bumblebee, and I think I got the ballerina behind me. I just can't get her.
Good. So you say creativity is so much fun and you can play with it. Oh, look here. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. Yeah.
And there is the ballerina, and she's with a bulldog, because you need to be that ballerina. You have to be to that divine feminine strength. You need that strength. You need that courage. Also with the ballerina, there's a bumblebee. And that bee is to show that sometimes you think things aren't possible. How can I do this? You know, right now, many questions. But, you know, a bumblebee, if you look at it in terms of physics, a bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. It doesn't question it. It thinks, I'm going to do that. I will do that. And to have that faith and courage. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and we are with seeds of cress, you know, it's for a science project for my son, and they're now sprouting, they're opening. And I thought that this morning, I said, so looking at this, no one is telling them what to do, they just do this. And I think if we could all come back to that trust, that like the acorn is growing into an oak tree and an embryo is growing into a baby, just by doing whatever it needs to do. And as long as we have this nurturing, loving surrounding and support, we can grow. We can grow in anything we want, you know, and just follow our plan instead of holding ourselves down.
There we go, it's a ballerina.
Oh, wow.
Whee!
There's sure a trick behind that. I don't know how to do those.
Oh, the most important thing to know is that when you fold the paper, here we go. When you fold the paper, and so that whatever you cut, there must be a link between the next piece. You've got to keep one part of it must keep joined to that middle, that folded section.
Yeah, because otherwise it's pieces. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the only thing. And then, you know, you can just cut into paper anyway. You can cut into name, whatever you would like to do. So I just wanted to share paper cutting because there's a beautiful tradition with paper cutting. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, and it's my birthday coming up on Tuesday, which is why I think I was feeling a bit sad, but do you know what I'm going to do is some paper cutting to celebrate being alive. So yeah, little hearts on a string there.
Yeah, and I know here in Switzerland we call it Scherenschnitte, and we have it with black and white, and I think especially in Appenzell, I think they have this perfect ones, and it's really, really gorgeous. And I love paper cutting, and it's so soothing, and it's so fun when you open up, oh, look at this, you know, and yes. You created that, and it's so heartwarming. Mm-hmm.
So today I just thought I'd bring some exercises. So I've mentioned doodling with the pen, making shapes. You know, if you're feeling sad, allowing that, the dancing, the expression, and expressing and finding where that emotion is in the body, and music and dance and just putting your body into a physical shape, whichever shape you feel it needs to go into. I mean, I suppose I'm by myself, so I can do crazy things and I can dance. And of course, it's a different story if you're surrounded like you are, Caroline, with teenagers, and well, they're not teenagers, but
used to their eye rolling like, oh, mom, you're dead.
Exactly. Although my neighbours are lovely because we have got a shared garden, and sometimes I don't think anyone's at home. I hug the tree, I'll do some dancing, and I was upside down, did a handstand on the tree, and I was, because the inner child just wanted to play. She wanted to do a handstand against the tree, and then I'm upside down, my top up by my and I hear Albie going, "Hoi, Lizzie, Vigators, all is good." And you know, and this, so it's honoring with the body, with the dance, with the singing, with the music. And so I mentioned the drawing and doodling, and actually
with the music, you know, that's also great. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I got really quite cross. Something happened with somebody in the apartment. It's all resolved now. They came into my apartment, they shouldn't have done, and of course I'm trying to keep it all clean anyway. It's all resolved. But what I did is I also wrote and expressed how I felt about this situation, this self-expression, and it was a creative act. It was creative writing, and that was really good to write. And again, you know, it's taking away, it was completion over perfectionism. I mean, I wasn't going to publish this online, and it's, you know, like with the drawing, don't just, if that little voice saying, oh, but that's not how you draw a tree, a hand, a cat, or that's not how you write such and such, let go of that perfectionism and do it. do it with all your heart and soul. And I wrote and wrote, and I drew a cartoon of this person, and I ran. I had a real good run on the colours, because I got my box of crayons here.
Swiss cavendish, of course, the best.
Yeah. And so I'm sharing this exercise. So I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I drew a caricature, and it felt so good, because what it is, it's getting these feelings, the words, whether it's images, pictures, out of the body, so you can hold them through this creativity. You can hold them and look and go, oh, these are the words, these are the shapes. These are the shapes, whether it's in your body or in a picture or in words. And you can look, I can look at those things, sit, acknowledge them. And then I can forgive, whether it's myself or others. And then, I mean, in the case of this angry writing, I didn't want that around. So I put it on top of the paper, on top of a big cushion, and whacked it, ripped it up into pieces, burnt it safely in the fire pit in the garden, and then said a little prayer and gratitude.
It's amazing. And you also love to photograph hearts, and only 2 days ago, 3 days ago, it was sort of like, it was getting too much, and my teenagers were moody, and I was in a bit of stress, and then, and I just said, okay, I need to leave, because being the four of us together in this house, even though we have a garden, it can be a bit too much. I didn't have my solitude, my safe space. So I went out, and gorgeous spring, I had my phone with me, and I said, look at those, I don't know how you call the little yellow ones, buttercups, I think. Look, this picture. Look here at the dandelions. Look here at the blooms. And look at the view. Look at the trees. And I thought sort of, wow, I'm feeling so much better. It's not that I needed to feel better, I just needed to go out, but just capturing then gorgeous moments and letting myself be in nature, and be a little bit of creative. And sometimes when I'm stuck, just doodling or getting out, we might feel stuck in this situation right now. So a little bit of expressive, playful creativity can help us to get things flowing again, because if we always, and I love how Lizi really allowed herself to feel sad and put on sad music and allowed the tears to flow, because that's so important. We are suppressing our feelings far too often because they're labeled bad or low or not good enough or whatever. Sit with your feelings, allow them, express them in art, in writing, in tears, and that's okay. Then they can move and transform. So anybody has any questions, please leave them in the comments. We come back to you afterwards. It was so gorgeous having you, Lizi. Is there anything else you love to share with us?
It's to share that I'm going to be launching a project, and I've been taking for the past, just quickly tell you about this project. And Caroline knows that in 2007, I was pregnant, and I lost a baby girl, and it happens, and I accepted this. And when I came back from the hospital, I was making this mug of hot chocolate, and I was thinking about, I would have called her Summer, and I was thinking about her, and I was just looking at the mountains, thinking she's in spirit, and I was just sending her all my love. And then when I finished this, and it's a cup just like this, when I got to the bottom, there was this perfect heart, and it was like a message from her. And ever since, since 2007, I must have 4,000 pictures of hearts. So, whether I see them in a town, or or a puddle of sunshine walking through. They're quite tricky to see at first. Sometimes I make them out of flower petals. sometimes it can be a friend. I find this, like, here is a friend leaning against a wall with her tummy, and actually the space in between made a heart, and it looks like two people, but actually it was her swimsuit body. Those are her breasts, her tummy, and I find hearts in all sorts, and that's a worm cast. That's on the beach. So I'm going to launch this project, and it was just to say, if you have any pictures of hearts that you see in nature, I'd love you to share them with me. And it's a project I want to have an installation with these hearts, whether it's online or in a gallery. And I want it to be towards something that helps others and to bring joy and fun. I've got a Swiss heart cow poo, for example. So it's to share and bring this project together. And this is the first time I've shared this publicly, is that about this heart project. And it's finding hearts in all sorts of places. And my beautiful daughter, who's in spirit, Summer, started off this project. So, and it's fun. So Caroline, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So.
This is so beautiful. And I remember, I don't know, a couple of years ago, we went hiking together and you took pictures everywhere. We saw hearts, in stones, in the trees. Yeah. And in the clouds, and it's so beautiful, and I just love that. And seeing hearts, I mean, yeah, I'm a heart person too, and seeing hearts, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love that you're putting together this gorgeous project, and we can find you at Creative Summer, I think, Creative Summer on Instagram. I will post the link, and reach out to Lizi Summer, and she has so many gorgeous, creative, playful ideas.
Yeah, so please, any questions, if you need any help, I'm a teacher and artist and would love to support anybody who needs support right now. And if you're at the dinner table, you can fold in a napkin like this. So it looks like this. And then what you do, this is something fun if you're lucky enough to live with others and they may need cheering up, and you get the four corners like this, and you go 1, 2, 3, napkin fun.
We all need some cheering up, so let's make some napkin hats and cheer each other up. And what a fun thing to teach our children. I mean, yeah. Napkins on the head, not on your lap.
Oh, it's teaching playfulness, and it's teaching joy, and
yeah. And I think sometimes when we are so stuck, we're missing the laughter, when we can see the fun in things and can laugh, really have belly laughs, that sort of just clears the air. It's sort of, yeah, that's wonderful. So thank you so much, Lizi. Thank you. I'm deeply honored to have you here on my Inner Peace Talk. Anybody has questions, let us know. And yeah, see you for my next one.